My childhood sweetheart broke up with me and announced his new relationship with a scholarship girl on social media. Within 1 minute, he said Emma had depression, and once he helped her become a sunshine girl like me, he'd get back together with me. Emma used his phone to claim her territory. Thanks for taking care of my boyfriend before. Please keep your distance from now on. I laughed in disbelief.
It took me exactly
30 seconds to get my mom to stop funding her scholarship. After my mom told the school she was cutting Emma's funding, she immediately called Jake's father. Both families canceled the engagement. Meanwhile, Emma's best friend sent me a video of Jake and Emma making out. In the video, Jake was drunk, holding red-faced Emma and kissing her. Someone nearby was stirring up drama. Jake, aren't you worried about Sarah getting hurt? Jake cupped Emma's face and licked her lips with obvious desire. It's fine. She's easy to handle. We grew up together. Don't I know her? She's just too naive. Always getting first place, making Emma miss out on scholarships. I'm just teaching her a lesson. I laughed coldly. So this is what he really thought of me? Jake continued, besides, I'm tired of her. Good girls are so boring. Won't even let me hold her hand. So freaking dull. Just thinking about getting engaged to her after graduation and being tied down makes me sick. Jake made a disgusted face. Emma immediately pressed against his bosom. I'm not like her. I'll let you touch me however you want. But only you. Jake laughed and tightened his grip around Emma's waist. That's what I love about Emma. She's exciting. Sarah. Whoever wants her can have her. I sure don't. I could barely contain my disgust. Suddenly, I heard a lazy voice from the video. Then I'll go after her. It was Ryan's voice, the class president who always tied with me for first place. Jake's face instantly darkened. Emma blinked and tugged his hand. Jake let out a weird laugh. Go ahead. But she's been obsessed with me for over 10 years, practically dying for me countless times. I'm sick of it. She's like some pure maiden saving herself for me. Ryan smiled meaningfully. He picked up his school jacket, revealing clean, slender hands with an expensive watch. I'm leaving. He glanced at Jake and Emma clinging together with disgust. Jake, remember what you just said? Don't regret it later. I won't back down. Jake's face darkened, and the lust Emma had stirred in him completely faded. I told you Sarah loves me to death. One little gesture, and she'll come running back. Emma's eyes immediately turned red. Jake quickly said, but I'm happy to let you play with her. She's just a simp anyway. I have plenty of those. His buddies burst into laughter. Jake's not wrong. Sarah is totally a simp. Every game, she brings us a whole case of water, every party. She fights to pay the bill. Girls like that are cheap as heck. Video ended with just a glimpse of Ryan kicking at Jake. My phone buzzed with a message from Emma's friend. Must be really hurt and angry, right? I'd give up on Jake if I were you. Men just think simps like you are cheap. Ryan seems to like you though. You're both nerds. Pretty good match. I suspected Emma was using her friend's phone to text me. She always did stuff like this. Using Jake's phone to send me ambiguous messages. That would make us fight. Then she'd fake being sick so Jake would go comfort her. But none of that mattered to me now. I'm very good at taking advice. Dirty men should be thrown away. I also thought Ryan and I were perfectly matched in brains and family background. Why aren't you replying, Sarah? Are you furious? Laughing emoji. Actually, I was fine. I should have been really angry because my family is truly wealthy, don't have freedom in dating. I can only choose marriage partners from families of equal status. But I'm not particularly pretty, especially compared to other daughters from similar backgrounds. The competition is honestly brutal. Jake was one of the better-looking options available to me. But compared to Ryan, there was no competition at all. Ryan was taller, more handsome, and smarter than Jake. Total catch with a better option available. Why should I be sad? Sadness only comes from not getting the best. After showing my mom the video Emma's friend sent, my mom was furious and wanted to confront Jake's family. I stopped her. I pointed at Ryan in the video getting hard eyes. I like him. My mom was quiet for a moment, looking at my unremarkable features behind black-rimmed glasses. He's too gorgeous. Even though your families match you. I raise my hands in surrender. A frog that doesn't dream of eating swan isn't a good frog. But then again, he's still young and hasn't seen much of the world yet. This is your chance, my mom patted my shoulder. To improve the next generation's genes, you need to work hard. All I can do is provide the financial background. Thinking of my dad's flat face, silence. I stayed up all night, memorizing everything I'd paid to find out about Ryan. As a straight-A student, memorizing things after reading them twice was basic. The next morning, I didn't wait for Jake to walk to school together. For the first time, I watched through the security camera as Jake frowned. Waiting outside my house, I impatiently spoke into the intercom. Sarah, you have 3 minutes. If you don't come out ready, don't bother coming out at all. Whatever. I ignored him. Now that both families had canceled the engagement, our housekeeper and maid had no reason to be nice to him. Miss Sarah already left. Jake's face instantly darkened. He threw the breakfast he'd brought for Emma. On the ground, the milk bottle shattered with a bang, spilling everywhere. Why didn't I think it was for me? Because he'd never brought me breakfast. I was always the one bringing him food. Our maid was annoyed. I just swept this floor. What's wrong with you? How dare you talk to me like that? I'll have Sarah fire you. The maid rolled her eyes. Your engagement is cancelled. And the Wilson-Johnson family partnership is over. You should leave. Sarah is just throwing a tantrum. Once I sweet-talk her, she'll be fine. Our family's engagement will never be cancelled. Jake left with a dark expression. Jake and I were desk partners. When I got to school, Emma was sitting in my seat. My books were piled on the teacher's desk. She smiled at me. Sarah, I want to sit with Jake. We're in our honeymoon phase. Didn't your mom tell you to be nice to me? Be a good sister and give Jake and me our romantic space. You don't want people calling you the third wheel, right? Apparently, she didn't know yet that my mom had stopped funding her. I was planning to get angry and curse her out, but I noticed Ryan behind me. The seat next to him had been empty for years. My inner drama queen awakened. Time to perform. I made my eyes red and stood there looking lost and helpless. Ryan walked over, picked up my books from the teacher's desk and said, Sarah, come here. I followed him, watching as he placed my books next to his seat. My heart started racing like crazy. Manga plot coming to life. This felt amazing. I shouldn't have watched so much anime. It's messing with my brain. Fighting back shyness, I said with a choked voice. Class president, thank you. I didn't eat breakfast. If you really want to thank me, bring me some food when you go get yours. I stayed up late doing practice tests last night. I'm really tired and want a nap. Wait, what? So he wasn't the quiet, brooding type, but the jealous type. He'd seen how I brought Jake breakfast every morning, after getting my own food, and he wanted the same treatment. I nodded eagerly. Yes. I would definitely treat him equally. No, considering he was way more handsome than Jake, I'd definitely favor him more. The next morning, I didn't just buy breakfast. I curated an experience. I went to the upscale patisserie 3 blocks from school. The one Jake always complained was too bougie and a waste of gas. I bought a double-shot espresso, black, and a savory truffle croissant. For myself, I grabbed a matcha latte. When I walked into the classroom, the atmosphere shifted. It was palpable. Jake and Emma were at my old desk. Emma was giggling, feeding Jake a convenience store donut. It looked greasy. Jake saw me enter. His eyes immediately dropped to the takeout bag in my hand. The logo was silver and shiny. He smirked, elbowing Emma. See? I heard him whisper, loud enough for half the class to hear. I told you. She can't help herself. She probably woke up at 5 a.m. to get that for me. Emma pouted, wiping sugar off her lip. But you said you were done with her. I am, Jake said, leaning back, spreading his legs in a display of arrogance that used to make me nervous, but now just looked like a man-spreading violation. But free food is free food. Watch this. He held out his hand as I walked down the aisle. Sarah, you're late. And I prefer iced coffee in the summer, but I guess this works. I didn't even slow down. I breezed past his outstretched hand, the fabric of my skirt brushing against his desk. I walked straight to the back of the room, to the window seat where Ryan was resting his chin on one hand, flipping through a magazine about watches. I placed the steaming coffee and the truffle croissant on his desk. Payment for the book moving service, I said, my voice steady, though my heart was doing gymnastics. Truffle croissant. I hope you're not allergic to mushrooms. Ryan looked up. His eyes, usually cold and indifferent, held a flicker of amusement. He didn't look at the food. He looked at me. I'm not. And you remembered I drink black coffee. I have a good memory, I shrugged. Clearly, Ryan smirked, glancing over my shoulder at Jake. Though you wasted it on trash for 10 years. The entire class went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Jake's hand was still in the air. His face turned a shade of red that clashed with his varsity jacket. He slammed his hand down on the desk. Sarah, what the hell is this? Jake barked, standing up. You're trying to make me jealous? It's pathetic. I finally turned around, adjusting my glasses. Jake, not everything is about you. Ryan helped me. I'm thanking him. It's called basic manners. You wouldn't understand. You think manners are for simps. You. Jake sputtered. Emma stood up, her eyes wide and teary. Sarah, you're doing this on purpose. You knew Jake was hungry. You're just trying to humiliate us. If you're hungry, Ryan's lazy voice cut through the room like a scalpel. He didn't even stand up. He just took a sip of the coffee I brought him. Ideally, you'd buy your own food. Or, have your new girlfriend buy it. Isn't that how true love works? Or is the scholarship fund running low already? Emma froze. Ryan took a bite of the croissant, looked me in the eye, and winked. Delicious. Sit down, Sarah. Let's compare answers on the calculus set.
He said.
For the first time in my life, I wasn't looking at Jake's back. I was looking at Ryan's profile. And God, the view was so much better. The bomb dropped during third period. The principal's assistant came in with a slip of paper. Emma Miller? The principal needs to see you immediately. Emma looked smug as she gathered her things. She whispered to Jake, it's probably about the exchange program. Since I'm the top scholarship student, they send me to Paris next semester. Jake kissed her hand. Go get him, babe. She didn't come back for lunch. I was sitting in the cafeteria with Ryan. It was strange. Usually, I sat at Jake's table, peeling oranges for him while he ignored me to talk about video games with the boys. Now, I was sitting across from Ryan, who was peeling a mandarin orange. He placed the peeled fruit on my tray. I stared at it. What are you doing? You have chalk dust on your hands, he said simply. Hygiene. My face heated up. I can wash my hands. Eat the orange, Sarah. I ate the orange. It was sweet. Suddenly, the cafeteria doors banged open. Emma stormed in, her face streaked with mascara, looking like a raccoon that had lost a fight. She marched straight to our table. You witch, she shrieked. The cafeteria went quiet. Jake ran in after her, looking confused. Emma, what's wrong? She cut it. She cut everything. Emma slammed her hands on our table, causing my soup to ripple. The principal said the Wilson Foundation has withdrawn all financial support effective immediately. I have to pay tuition for this semester by Friday or I'm expelled. That's $20,000, Sarah. I wiped my mouth with a napkin. And, Emma screamed. You can't do this. That scholarship was mine. I earned it. Actually, I said calmly, channeling my mother's boardroom energy. You didn't earn a scholarship from the school. You received a private grant from the Wilson family, my family. My mother set it up years ago because I asked her to help my friend. But since we aren't friends and you're currently sleeping with my ex-fiancé and calling me a simp, why would my mother pay for you to go to school? Jake stepped forward, trying to look imposing. Sarah, this is too far. Don't bring money into this. It's dirty. I laughed. A genuine belly laugh. Jake, money is only dirty when you don't have any. When you have it, it's called leverage. If you love her so much, you pay for her. Jake froze. I knew exactly how much was in Jake's account. He spent his allowance on modified cars and gaming skins. He didn't have 20 grand. He didn't even have 2 grand. I'll talk to my dad, Jake bluffed. Do that, I said. Ask your dad for $20,000 for the girl who caused the cancellation of the merger between our families. See how that conversation goes. Ryan chuckled. It was a dark, rich sound. Checkmate. Emma looked at Jake. She saw the hesitation in his eyes. The fear. For the first time, she realized that without me, Jake wasn't a prince. He was just a guy with an allowance he was about to lose. Sarah, please. Emma's tone shifted instantly. The aggression vanished, replaced by the pitiful sunshine girl act. I have depression. If I get expelled, I might do something crazy. You promise to be my sister? I have a sister, Ryan interrupted, standing up and towering over them. She's a golden retriever. She has more dignity than you. Get lost. 2 weeks passed. The dynamic in school had shifted violently. Jake was struggling. Without my notes, he was failing physics. Without my family's connections, the teachers stopped giving him leeway on late assignments. He looked disheveled. Emma was still there, barely. Rumor had it she took out a predatory loan to pay the tuition, convincing Jake that his dad would reimburse them eventually. Meanwhile, I was living in a state of high anxiety bliss. I was in the library, trying to memorize the history of the European Union for an upcoming debate. Ryan was across from me, reading a book on architectural theory. You're staring, he said, not looking up.
I'm stud.
You're studying my face. He closed his book and leaned forward. Find anything interesting? Symmetry. I blurted out. Good bone structure. High probability of dominant genes. I wanted to die. My mother's weird eugenics talk had infiltrated my brain. Ryan stared at me for a second, then burst out laughing. You are weird, Sarah Wilson. I know. I'm boring, Jake said. Stop, Ryan commanded. His face went serious. He reached across the table and took my hand. His fingers were cool and long. Stop talking about that idiot. You aren't boring. You're intense. You're terrifyingly smart. And you have this weird purity about you that makes people want to protect you or corrupt you. Jake was too stupid to do either. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. And you? Which one do you want to do? Ryan's thumb grazed my knuckles. Protect you from them. corrupt you for myself. The air in the library felt suddenly thin. Sarah, he said, his voice lower. The autumn gala is in 3 weeks. Jake is going to bring Emma to try and network with the alumni to save his dad's company. It's going to be a desperate clawback attempt. I know. Go with me. As friends? I asked, pushing my glasses up my nose. No, Ryan said firmly. As my date. And not just a date. I want to clear the board. I want everyone to know that the Wilson and Miller families are aligning. And I want Jake to watch you walk in with me and realize exactly what he threw away. Strategic alliance? I whispered. Romantic merger, he corrected. I didn't do the whole movie montage thing where I spin around in pink dresses. I didn't have time. I hired a stylist. I told her. I don't want to look pretty. I want to look expensive. I want to look like I own the building. She put me in a deep emerald green velvet gown. It was backless, with long sleeves and a high neck. It was modest yet incredibly severe. She took my glasses. I can't see, I complained.
Contacts, she said.
I hate touching my eyeballs. Do you want to see Jake cry, or do you want to be comfortable? I put the contacts in. When I walked down the stairs of my house, my mom was waiting. She held a glass of champagne. She looked me up and down and nodded. The emerald brings out your eyes. Ryan is waiting in the limo. He's wearing a matching tie. I arranged that. Mom, you're meddling. I'm facilitating. Go get him, Tiger. When I got into the car, Ryan didn't say anything for a full minute. He just looked at me. The interior light of the limo cast shadows on his sharp jawline. Well, I asked, nervous. Do I look like a swan? No, Ryan said hoarsely. Swans are aggressive and loud. You look like a queen. He kissed my hand, then turned it over and kissed my wrist, right over my pulse point. I almost passed out. The ballroom was suffocatingly fancy. Crystal chandeliers, a string quartet playing pop covers, and the smell of old money and desperation. When we walked in, the room didn't go silent. Wealthy people are too polite for that. But the heads turned. The whispers started. Is that Sarah Wilson? Is that the Miller heir? We moved through the crowd like sharks. Ryan had his hand on the small of my back, guiding me, introducing me to people I'd known for years but who were suddenly looking at me differently. Then we saw them. Jake was wearing a suit that was slightly too tight. He'd clearly gained weight from stress eating. Emma was wearing a white dress that looked suspiciously like a wedding gown. It was poofy, sequenced, and looked cheap under the ballroom lights. They were cornering Mr. Henderson, a venture capitalist. Mr. Henderson looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Mr. Henderson, Jake was saying, sweating. My father's proposal, it's solid. We just need a bridge loan. Jake, Ryan's voice boomed. We stepped into their circle. Jake turned. His jaw literally dropped. He looked from Ryan to me, his eyes widening as they swept over the green velvet dress. Sarah, he whispered. Hi, Jake, I said.
Emma.
Interesting dress. Prom was last year, wasn't it? Emma's face flushed red. It's designer. It's polyester, I noted dryly. And it's flammable. Stay away from the candles. Mr. Henderson brightened. Sarah. Ryan. Now this is a pair I can talk to. I heard you two aced the National Economics Challenge. We did, Ryan smiled, extending a hand. Actually, Sarah's regression analysis was the key to our victory. We were just discussing the volatility of tech stocks. We proceeded to have a 10-minute conversation with Mr. Henderson about the market, completely ignoring Jake and Emma. They stood there, awkward and silent, unable to contribute. Finally, Jake couldn't take it. Sarah, can I talk to you? Privately? Ryan looked at me. I nodded. I'll be right back. I followed Jake to the terrace. The night air was cool. You look different, Jake said, shifting his weight. I look rich, Jake. I always was. You just never looked at me. Look, I made a mistake, Jake said, his voice trembling. Emma, she's crazy. She's needy. She spends all my money.
She's not you.
She doesn't understand me. She doesn't help me. And I'm supposed to care? We grew up together, Sarah. Doesn't that mean anything? I was drunk in that video. The guys egged me on. He reached for my hand. I'll dump her. Tonight.
Right now.
We can go back to how it was. I'll even let you hold my hand in public. I stared at him. I remembered the years of pining, the years of analyzing his texts, the pain when he ignored me, and I felt nothing, just a mild annoyance, like a mosquito buzzing in my ear. Jake, I said softly, you said good girls are boring. You said I was easy to handle. I was lying. No, you weren't. You were right. I was boring because I made myself small to fit into your world. But I don't fit there anymore. I stepped back. And about Ryan? He doesn't think I'm easy to handle. He thinks I'm a challenge. And he loves it. He's just using you for your family's money. Jake spat. My family is money. Ryan's voice came from the shadows. He stepped out, holding 2 glasses of sparkling cider. I have plenty of my own. I don't need Sarah's money. I just need Sarah. Ryan walked over, handed me a glass, and stood next to me. A united front. Jake, Ryan said coldly. Your father just arrived. He's looking for you. Apparently, the bank declined his corporate card at the bar. You might want to go handle that. Jake turned pale. He looked at me one last time, a look of pure regret, and ran back inside. The next few months were a blur of karma. Jake's father's company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The failed merger with my family was the nail in the coffin. They had to sell their house. Jake transferred to a public school. Emma? As soon as the money was truly gone, she vanished. I heard she tried to latch onto a sophomore from a different private school, but his mother wasn't as nice as mine. She was expelled for academic dishonesty. Turns out she'd been plagiarizing her essays for years. Ryan and I graduated as co-valedictorians. During his speech, he went off script. People say high school is about finding yourself, he told the crowd. But I think it's about recognizing value. Value in knowledge, value in time, and value in the people who challenge you. He looked directly at me in the front row. I was lucky enough to find the most valuable partner early, and I planned to keep her. The crowd cheered. My mom was sobbing in the audience, already planning the wedding. 4 years later. Stop moving, you're making me mess up the eyeliner. Ryan was sitting on the bathroom counter of our shared apartment near the university, trying to fix the winged eyeliner I had botched because my hands were shaking. I'm nervous, I said. It's the biggest presentation of my life. It's just a thesis defense, Sarah. You know the material better than the professors. He finished the line with a steady hand. Perfect. He put the eyeliner down and pulled me between his legs, wrapping his arms around my waist. He'd filled out in college, broader shoulders, more confidence, but the same intense eyes. You know, he murmured against my neck. I saw Jake the other day. I stiffened slightly. Oh. He was working at the valet stand at the restaurant I took the investors to. Did you say anything? I gave him a big tip, Ryan smirked. And told him to keep the change. I told him it was from you. I laughed, wrapping my arms around his neck. You're petty. I'm protective. He kissed me, deep and slow. And I'm the one who got the girl. You didn't get the girl. I corrected him, pulling back to look at him through my glasses. I went back to them. They were more comfortable. You earned the girl. Fair enough. He checked his expensive watch, the one from the video, years ago. Now let's go. We have an empire to build, and my mom is nagging me about grandchildren again. Tell her to wait. I grabbed my briefcase. I have a PhD to get first. That's my girl. We walked out the door together, hand in hand. No drama, no games. Just 2 nerds who realized that the best revenge isn't hatred, it's success, and finding someone who treats you like the prize you always were.